I'm Hannah Pinkerton from Hannah's Pet Sitting and Homemade Pet Supplies, here for Weekend Meetup episode 20. This week I'm going to be talking about how to prevent overheating in dogs. With all the warm temperatures we're having with summer coming up, this is really important for all you dog owners. So one thing to keep in mind is not to do a lot of exercise or outdoor activity in the heat with your dog. Now that might seem obvious, but just really try to get that exercise in early in the morning or late at night if you do need to exercise them, because they can overheat very quickly out in the middle of the day. Another thing to keep in mind is for dogs that spend most of their time outdoors in a fenced yard or something like that, they should have shade, a cool surface to lay on, and a lot of fresh water. So dogs cool themselves by sweating through their paws and by panting. That's why it's important to have something cool for them to lay on. That'll help cool their paws off and cool their internal temperature as well. And then of course the water to keep them hydrated and cool them off. Another thing to keep in mind is pushed in nose breeds like pugs, bulldogs, anything like that where their nose is kind of smushed in. They have a lot harder time cooling themselves and panting in the summer. So it's really important just to keep that in mind, especially for those dogs, and not to exercise them in the middle of the day. And if you notice them panting a lot, it's a good idea to take them inside and let them cool down. Same thing for dogs with dark coats and other types of dogs that are very susceptible to the heat. Also remember not to leave your dogs in your car, even if you're just going in the store for a minute or two. Even if you're in the shade and you have the windows down, your car can overheat to more than 100 degrees in just several minutes in the parking lot. So please don't leave your dogs in your cars. Also, another thing to keep in mind in the summertime is the hot pavement. That can actually burn your dog's paw pads without you even realizing it. So before you take your dog for a walk on the pavement, test the pavement temperature with your hand. Let your hand sit there for a couple of seconds. If that feels comfortable, then go ahead and proceed with the walk. One thing to keep in mind as well is for double-coated breeds like Huskies, Golden Retrievers, Samoyeds, any type of dog like that, do not shave your dog in the summer. A lot of pet owners mean well and try to shave their dog down to help them cool off, but actually those double-coated breeds naturally wick the air away from the body, and so by shaving that off, you're allowing the dogs to potentially get sunburn and also taking away their cooling mechanism. So for those type of dogs, a good brushing session with a tool like the Furminator or a good undercoat removal tool is an excellent way to help keep them cool. And if your dog does get overheated, before they get heat stroke, there are symptoms such as panting, laying down. What you want to do is remove their food and water. Do not let them cool themselves by drinking water, because they can actually drink too much, vomit it back up. It's just not a good thing. So you'll want to definitely bring them in out of the heat source right away. Start hosing them off or in the bathtub or outside in the shade with warm water, very warm, and gradually decrease the temperature down to cold. If you put the water on cold right away, you can actually shock their system, and that's not a good thing. So usually for overheating, that's something that you can treat at home. Sometimes it could actually get worse by the time you get to the vet. So I would recommend you do some more reading on overheating if you do have a pet this summer, or especially a dog, so you can be prepared if you notice any symptoms, and it's something that you can handle at home. And that's all I've got for overheating in dogs for this week. And next up we have Bill Hunt. He will be talking about an upcoming local event, Raiders and Invaders.
Hi, welcome back to a weekend meetup. This week we're bringing you more information about Raiders and Invaders, because that's coming up next weekend starting on June 6th in downtown Leonardtown. And I've got some information for you. Of course, everything I've got you can find on the St. Mary's County website. If you go to the home page, click on the big red go, you'll be at the tourism page, and you'll find this information. So what I've got for you first is the event starts Friday, June 6th. Here's black and white. You can print this out, but it tells you when it starts, 5 to 8 p.m., no admission fee. So that's good to know for Friday evening. Now, Saturday is the big day in downtown Leonardtown. Here's a whole packet. This is 15 pages of events, so there ought to be something that you can find there that'll be of interest to you and your family. Everything from liquor tastings to bands to arts and crafts to the Historic Society, you name it, they've got it. Here's something else I want to call your attention to, because we don't want to lose sight of the fact that this is a commemoration of the War of 1812, which was really serious when you get right down to it. This is another brochure that you can get online. That is to say, you can get the online version of this brochure. And what's good about this is, if I can unfold this like we used to do with maps, is when you get to the inside, it's got locations of events that actually took place in St. Mary's County in southern Maryland during the war itself. So if you're more history minded, not so much into the entertainment aspects of it, come down to Leonardtown anyway, see what they've got on the square, and then you can, if you download this, you can travel to various places of historic interest throughout the area. So what you need to do is get your Johnny Horton's Greatest Hits CD, put it in your car. Battle of New Orleans, 1814, took a little trip, an area different from here, but it's the most famous song that refers to the War of 1812. So come on down, and Larry's behind the camera making sure everything works. That's all I've got for you this week. Thanks for watching.